Hello everyone and welcome to Chat19, podcasty style thingamajig featuring the players and Logan that you love from Nat19. Here we'll be delving into some of your most burning questions you've submitted using the questionnaire form in this video's description, as well as on our Twitch page. I am your host Chase, also known as Coffin Jockey, and I am joined today by some lovely people. How about you introduce yourselves as well as a little info about what you do in the game? And we're gonna start with Brett.
Hi, my name is internet famous Breaderson, and I play Fenrir Selveron, everyone's favorite time cleric. Woo! Woo! I did it.
And then, Logan, could you list alphabetically the character that you play?
Okay.
Oh, no.
I didn't say to do it. I didn't say to do it. I was just wondering if you could.
Then yes, I definitely could do that.
I believe you, and you need present no proof.
Yes, thank you.
Woo!
But yeah, what are you doing in Nat19 for somehow someone that doesn't know?
I am the dungeon master boy of DMS and Vestige and many of the other things that go on. Depictor of NPCs, minor and major. And I'm apparently the Logan everyone loves, according to Chase. So that's real cool.
Yes.
Everybody! Everybody loves me.
Yeah.
Woo!
You're saying it like that couldn't happen, but it's a statement of fact.
It's everybody.
It's true.
Yeah. Well, we got a lot of questions from peeps that watch the heckin' show,
Woo!
and I'm gonna go ahead and ask you boys about them.
Ah! Excitement.
Okay. First question is for Logan.
Okay, hit me.
Okay. Dear Logan, is the reason Sunder never deals with gold because of the fact that he would have to count using his fingers?
The reason that Sunder never deals with gold is not because he is a stupid boy that does not know math. Although, Chase, I'm going to tell you something really funny in a minute. The reason that he does not deal with gold is because where Sunder comes from, gold effectively has no value within his tribe. They're just a hunter-gatherer tribe. He'd rather not do it. Chase!
Yes.
We discovered this during last stream. Just because we're bringing up Sunder, do you want to hear something hilarious?
It's really good.
You know who Sunder is, right?
Oh.
I'm not Googling it, I know.
Sunder is a companion that works with Vogan at this point. He's the result of the Night card. He's a wolf boy. He's a wolf tribe boy who wants Vogan to come and help him with some stuff in his village and is traveling with him in the meantime. His intelligence is so low he cannot be Tasha's hideous laughter. We discovered
really
this
great.
last game.
Incredible.
It's really brilliant.
It's so good. Fucking just Tasha's hideous laughter. I don't get it.
What? I don't, it's just...
Oh my god!
I like the idea that in a hypothetical situation that he doesn't know that's an offensive spell being cast, that he sees everyone else laughing and just like to not feel left out might laugh.
He just looks around, head ducks down, ears go down.
Oh.
Oh my god!
He was such low intelligence, he got mind blasted by a mind flare and spent all of last fight in last game sitting on the ground in the snow. We joked that he was like a dog just opening his mouth and just howl on the snow while he was paralyzed. I'm immediately getting off track, but I love Sunder so much.
He's so good.
Me and Sunder were in unfortunately similar situations.
Mind flares, man.
Mind flares. Fuck mind flares.
Now, I have a question. If I were to roll... Okay, I'm gonna rephrase it. Is Sunder's intelligence lower than 8?
I believe it's 4.
So half of that... Goodness. I'm surprised he figured out how to learn a class. I love him. He really did it. He's really out here, man. He's
doing his best.
Boy. I'm so proud. Next question is for Fenris.
For me?
Dear Fenris, there is a pack of adorable Kitsadrian puppies in town that you could interact with, but don't. Why is that? Why haven't you made them chicken nuggets yet?
Oh gosh. I mean, I don't think that Fenris has run into the Kitsadria puppies running around. I think it was Miriam and Lexi who found out about them. So I don't think Fenris is aware of them. But also, if she was aware of them, why she wouldn't, I feel like because those are like Flint's responsibility. And like she wouldn't want to overstep. Because like Flint could be like, yo, what's up? Why are you helping? What's going on? I don't know.
Yeah, why would you ever help small children?
Listen.
Famously contentious Flint.
That's true! That's a great question.
Okay.
Because the opportunity has not been given.
Is that because it hasn't been given or because you don't know that they're there?
I really feel like Fenris is none the wiser about these pups.
But if
I'm
she
thinking
was
about it.
informed,
If she was informed, I feel like she would at
it would
least
be
ask.
chicken nugget o'clock, obviously.
It would be chicken nuggy time. Yes.
Yes. In which shape would you make the chicken nuggets to best appeal to these Kitsadrian puppies?
Strawberry shaped? Cause that's all Lexi will eat. Maybe like rock shaped, cause those are like big birds.
Oh, like the creature.
Yeah.
Okay, I also consider
Yeah,
this like a ball of chicken.
Yeah.
Oh. That'd be like more of a falafel situation.
Yeah. I was gonna say like maybe stick shaped. But
Yeah.
that's not as impressive. You can't style on them with.
No, I feel like Fenris would flex on these pups.
Yes.
Make all
gotta
types
blow
of
them
shapes.
up. Yes, I approve. Oh, very good. Next question I have is for Logan.
Yeah, what up?
Dear Logan, you've said that the entire tournament/Tenebros arc was an optional extra that the players did not have to get involved with. If the players had ignored it, what possible directions would you have seen the campaign going in?
So I can't directly really... I feel like the expected answer is like what story hooks would have come after that point, which, apart from what the party is currently doing, which is going to find more answers in the Skywall and such, I can't really answer that because those things might still come into play.
Fair.
But if the party had not dealt with it, then if they hadn't gone to the tournament, assuming that they hadn't just decided to go off and go to a different country and like do Vogan's pilgrimage, which if they'd done, I would have been like, cool, that's what we're doing. If they hadn't done that, then they'd be dealing with a much harder to navigate political situation regarding Murkwire and regarding Murkwire becoming the High Lord under the sway of the people that were affecting him. There probably would have been a stronger emphasis on researching things like the, as people now know, slaughtered Heckin brothel, which would have been related to collecting evidence about the wrongdoings of people. I'm not sure how involved Tenebros would have been. Who knows? Probably still would have been pretty involved. Maybe more directly involved. Because I imagine that without the tournament as a distraction, the people's souls are getting taken aspect of things would have been pushed forward more. A lot of the same things would probably have been going on and just would have been approached not from the optics of how does the tournament affect this, and more from the optics of like how can you talk to these people and do this stuff and help them out in more traditional quest paths. And then things probably would have eventually steered toward the Skywall again and toward going to find information about the Constella queries and such and such. Apart from that, it's whatever the players decided to do, really. I'm the DM. I'm up for doing whatever.
So I have a question then that wouldn't, I hope wouldn't spoil anything.
Yeah.
Assuming the players went to do whatever they went to do instead of the Tournament Tenebros arc, whatever that might have been. If the Tournament and Tenebros arc were just going on in the background without the players' involvement, would the events of the aftermath have been sped up at all? because the players weren't there? Like, did the players' presence speed up the events of that, or would it have pretty much, gone down at the same time, or would it have slowed down? Like, their presence motivate any characters to act at a different speed?
So, it's a complex net. It's a spider web of, like, motivations and cause and effect that cause things to happen the way they did. But a lot of characters wouldn't have been incited to act differently during the entire thing. Scandal definitely wouldn't have tried to get involved with becoming High Lord. They would have probably just kept going to try to sabotage Murkwire, but without the political involvement of the players, they probably would have failed too because of voting reasons. It's actually relatively unlikely that Tenebros would have directly taken an interest even in the party. I'm not sure Tenebros as a threat would have been dealt with in the city. I actually think that if the players hadn't been involved in the tournament, I don't think things would have escalated as much as they did as quickly. Because by being in the tournament, the players cut off a bunch of avenues of progress that certain villains had, which caused them to seek more direct means to accomplish what they were trying to accomplish, which caused things to move faster. There also wouldn't have, I don't think that the Stradivarius attack on the tournament would have happened, because that was largely motivated by, heckin' these people, included among the tournament were people they wanted to get rid of. So the whole demon attack there, it's hard to say. A lot of stuff may not have happened the way it did. Like, time is soup. Events are fucking, I don't know where if there had been less broth in the soup of time, I don't know where the potatoes of causality would have drifted.
That's entirely fair. I was just curious of like, yeah, if the players didn't show up, the Tenebros attack would have happened immediately.
No, it's actually highly likely that if they hadn't bothered him, he probably wouldn't have, tried to use his full, like, Dragon Archfiend form in the city.
Fair.
Yeah.
Well, good job on that, guys.
Woo! Yay!
That was your fault. Yay!
Woo!
And yeah, because also the truck that escalated because of the trial that happened, which wouldn't have happened if the party hadn't been involved. So the event where he brought in Stainer, and then Stainer was beaten, and then Tenebros decided to go full dragon, that whole trial just wouldn't have happened if the players weren't involved. So
it's true.
Yeah.
So that'd be a question later on then. Sounds
Wee.
like delightful. Next question I have is for Fenris. Dear Fenris, your best friend for all time and space, the one and only Dance Master Lexi, has repeatedly talked about her other BFF, Kevin. What are your thoughts on this boy? Are you neutral? Do you think he's a bad influence? Or do you have a burning jealousy towards him that can only be quelled through a trial by combat?
Okay. I think, for the most part, Fenris is pretty neutral. I mean, she wants to believe that he is everything that Lexi has spoken about. At the same time, there is almost like an anxiety of hers that Kevin might be a different person now. Especially like with her perception of the situation. It's been a long time, so Kevin could have gone and become a bagillion different things. And she's worried that if and when they do reunite, Lexi might not meet her best friend. She might meet someone unexpected.
Yeah, and I think, from what I've heard, Kevin might be a bad boy, we don't know? Maybe?
Yeah, I mean, that's up to the interpretation of one of the cards that Lexi drew. It made someone like a backstabber in her life. So that's up to Logan's interpretation of the card and what Logan ends up doing. So obviously I have nothing to say towards that. But, I mean, it's a genuine fear when you've been best friends with someone and you're separated. they can grow into a totally different person with different influences. And so I think Fenris is worried that Lexi might not have considered that. And so she's a little worried about Kevin.
Yeah. That's fair. Okay, I might be misremembering this. Did anyone try to, like, cast a spell to try to talk to Kevin? Did that happen?
Yeah, Miriam cast a sending spell at some point. I don't remember specifically what was said to Kevin. I think his answer was like...
Respond, right?
I feel like he did.
He did.
Okay.
But it was like, it was a very, okay, cool, kind of
Marion basically
answer.
said, yo, I've got your friend Lexi here. They want to talk to you. To which Kevin was like, oh, okay. Where are you? And Miriam was sent another one being like, we are at Summergrass and whatnot. And Kevin responded back being like, okay, cool. It's going to take us a while to get to you, but, yeah, wait there. I'd be happy to see Lexi.
Uh-oh.
And I brought this up before, and I was like, and then the party proceeded to take the month-long journey into the mountains on the other side of the country.
Yup. It's fine.
No one update him. Kevin just shows up in the city no one else is at, and just like, hey, where are the people I'm looking for? It's like, oh, they left like a month ago, man. Oh,
I'm
great!
I see.
Imagining the Kevin Rory interaction of, are you looking for weirdos? I think so. Those weirdos left like a month ago. Ah, don't know when they'll be back.
Don't know where they went, don't know when they'll be back.
Avi said something crazy was happening. I don't know.
Just such intense awkwardness right after that, I imagine.
Yup.
What a good time. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm sure that, you know, this character that might have turned against the party or Lexi will not at all be incensed to violence by this new inconvenience.
I mean, it's just Kevin.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Everybody loves Kevin.
It'll be fine. It might not be fine.
No, it'll be fine.
Yeah. Oh god.
Speaking of things that are fine, dear Fenris, could you share what was going through your mind when you drew the Reaper card?
Fuck! Fuck! God damn it! I knew it! Dude, so behind the scenes here, we were all waiting in separate rooms, and like heckin' Logan had basically told us all beforehand, like, I'm putting something in front of the party that could potentially be very dangerous. And I was like, in my brain, I was thinking, all right, what could this thing be? What could it have been? And the two things I made up in my mind was it was either the cards or it was a djinn. And now, obviously, it wasn't a djinn, but that was just one of the theories I had. And so the moment the deck showed up, I was like, oh god. And I wasn't really sure what I was planning to do. But at the same time, I think this will probably be the first and last time in a game, especially within Nat19, that the deck of many things will be a plot device and be really part of the campaign. And so I was like, yeah, I'll take a card, fine. Also, Corinne, counting down, stressing me the fuck out, love her. And so I was like, sure, I'll draw one card. The moment those words left my mouth, I'll take one card, my stomach dropped to the absolute darkest pits of myself. And I knew I'd screwed up. Like, I don't know why, I had the worst energy. Like, the moment Logan and Corinne left, I was just sitting there in like, what have I done? To the point where I was like, to Hayden, I was like, I'm so sorry. Whatever happens to me, I'm sorry. And like, to Carrie, I was like, something bad is going to happen to me. And sure enough, I just knew it. I don't know why I knew that it was. I thought it was also, when I saw the Reaper card, I misinterpreted the card because I thought it was the card that literally like blips you off the face of the earth, like you never existed.
Yeah.
The void. I don't know the cards that well.
Yeah, there's like two that are just, your soul is not here anymore. Good luck.
or the one that takes you to a different plane that you're just like stuck in.
Yep.
Yeah,
I was scared I was scared that it was one of those cards. So when I figured out what it actually was, I wasn't as terrified. But that, like, by then, it had already happened and passed. I mean,
Right.
it was just awful. It was wonderful, but awful. I showed my dad that clip, and he thought it was the funniest thing ever. Because there's a moment right after where Spencer goes, "Bread, do you think you can fight a Grim Reaper?" And I go, "No!" And Aaron goes, "You have to." And I go, "Oh, God!" It's just so good. But yeah, a lot of curse words and a lot of stress. It was not a good time.
I assume you won enough that you didn't get Grim Reapered.
No! Yeah, luckily, I had the help of my friends, which in turn brought on more Reapers, because if they interacted, if they helped me, a Reaper would pop up and come after them. But it was like half of their hit points were the creature's health. And so honestly, of the party at the time, I was the best person to have drawn a card. Drawn that card specifically, because I think my health was around 57 at the time. So, like, it didn't have a lot of health. And then the people who got involved also weren't like our big buff boys. Like, if Vogan or Quintus had pulled this card, I feel like it would have been a lot more problematic. Because maybe Action Economy would have gone off our side. And yeah, it would have been bad.
Yeah, so just to double check, because I'm not 100% sure. With the Reaper card, the thing that happens is a Reaper shows up and tries to fucking murk you.
Yeah.
If you beat it, you get to live. And if you don't beat it, you can't be brought back.
Yep.
Death.
Yes.
Is that true? Okay.
Yarp. Which is, again,
short of divine
best
intervention.
person.
Yeah.
Best person to have that. Best person for that to have happened to, I think.
Okay, but who else could cast some level of divine intervention?
Very true. Very true. So true, bestie. So true. I just mean on the health side, because then it made my Reaper manageable. And then, like, it was the two rogues who got involved who had, like, pretty decent health, but weren't, like, in the hundreds yet.
Right.
Because if we had gotten one that had, like, oh, I don't know, half of 100 hit points, that would have been a lot more difficult to deal with.
Fair. That's, so yeah, that's, you know, you just summoned, like, an avatar of death, but it wasn't that bad, all things considered.
I literally had just eaten, so the whole time I was fighting, I was like, I might throw up. I might throw up. But it turned out to be fine.
I'd like that energy in character for Fenris while fighting.
No, yeah, Fenris was... Because on top of that, her best friends were getting involved, and so now they might die, which was even worse for her.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
And she felt awful for a hot minute for dragging everyone into that situation.
Understandable. Well, it all worked out. You killed Death.
Yeah! Yeah, and I didn't get any fucking experience. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Well, it wasn't a hard encounter. It's just, you know, an avatar of death. Like, a goblin would give you more experience. Anyway, next question.
Next question. Thank you.
Dear Logan!
Yes!
How do you feel about the player reaction to the Ghost Dilf Bomb, and do you have any vague or ominous words about Tantia or the Fanient locked and loaded?
The Ghost Dilf Bomb.
The Ghost Dilf Bomb.
Yes.
Ew!
How do you feel about the player reaction to the Ghost Dilf Bomb? The Ghost Dilf Bomb.
What do you suppose? What do you suppose this is specifically referring to, Brad?
I mean, I feel like the Fanient, but like
just specific.
Oh, I have a little bit of preamble that I appear to have skipped. I hope this will help give you context clues.
Yes.
The preamble to this is, Dear Logan, you deceitful fuck, you bamboozling bastard, you conniving son of a bitch, you can't keep doing this to us! And then, Dear Logan, how do you feel about the player reaction to the Ghost Dilf Bomb?
That shockingly doesn't help.
That really fucking doesn't.
Because the Fanient hasn't. The Fenian hasn't
He's
done
not
anything.
a ghost.
Well, I mean, he's a spooky mist man. You can call him a ghost, and I get that.
Father of Merry Mist, Spooky Mist.
I'm... player reaction to the ghost Dilf Bomb. I'm just trying to, like... has anything big been dropped up specifically about the Fenian?
There's another question, which may be related, which was, what are your thoughts on Spooky Grandpa, who is allegedly Strahd? Maybe that's it?
Maybe that fact. I feel... Well, the players have been kind of guessing roughly at that sense around when he showed up.
Yeah.
So it's like...
I imagine it was the whole intertwining his life, Miriam's life, with the Fenian, I imagine.
Ah, yes. I enjoy that they are enjoying it. And any vague and ominous words about Tantia and the Fenian? I don't understand why you talk about Tantia in regards to the Fenian. Why would you? It's fucking. I don't. What possible connection could there be?
She's got a Ravenloft birthmark. What is that? You're a weenie.
I don't know what you're talking about. Frankly, this is news to me.
Oh my god, you held this over my head for so long. What do you mean?
No, that sounds like someone else. That sounds like someone else did that.
He'd be like, Brett, do you notice anything about Tantia that's like, I was like, no, why? Interesting. Then you go on. I think you had to tell me that.
I didn't...
Listen, like, it's not guaranteed a thing from Ravenloft. It could be a tattoo from the Crow Zone. You never know.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Who's to say? I don't have any...
And...
I don't have any... It is what it is. It is what it is. It'll be what it will be. I don't...
This isn't my Q&A, so I can't ask the question.
This is both of our Q&A, you're right.
Brad, would you like to submit a player question to Chat19?
Oh, yes, I do.
Okay.
What is going on with Tantia being like, you know, that plane felt familiar? What is that? What is that?
Yeah, that's not
After the whole Tenebros fight.
Chase, I think we're gonna have to screen that one. That may not be the kind of question I can directly answer in Chat19.
I got something mean to say.
Does anybody have anything mean to say?
Yeah,
I'll allow it.
Oh, wonderful. I love the energy.
It will be what it will be, or it won't. That's all I have to say about that. Who knows what it means. All I'll say is that fucking y'all think that the Fenian is Strahd? The Fenian doesn't think he's Strahd. So what does it matter? He doesn't know who
When has it ever mattered what the Fenian thought?
He doesn't know much of anything. He's like, I am spooky old man. I live in castle. I have no memory of anything specific about me, but I do remember the Wolfierna, for example. No, my name is Fenian.
Hey, Fenian, can you go bed, bleh?
I do not go bed, bleh.
Strahd confirmed. No.
I know nothing of myself, live in big castle, surrounded by mist, do not like the name Hadrick for some reason.
Oh, don't say this name in this house.
Keep his name out of your blah 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 mouth.
Yeah.
Ba-blay, ba-blay!
Oh, catchphrase. I love it. Also, while we're on the subject, dear Fenris, what are your thoughts on Spooky Grandpa, who is allegedly Strahd, by the way, intertwining his life with Miriam? Do you trust him at all? Are you prepared to throw hands if need be?
I think Fenris, like, trusts that he doesn't want Miriam dead as much as the Fenian can do something about it. Like with Fierna, that's a little out of his price range. But, I don't think she trusts him. And she'd throw hands. She'd throw hands. A hand could be tossed. Thrown weapon.
That seems fair. You know, chuck a hand or two, as one does.
it would not be the first time that the party has meddled with things much bigger than them. Much grander or bigger in the bigger scheme of things than they are. So like at this point, like the Fanian's just another one of the higher people in the world that we just managed to keep messing with, being involved with, pissing off, sleeping with.
The party has managed to instigate an event where they were pulled out of Gehenna to be seated at a trial hosted by Fierna of the Diabolical Court, wherein allegedly Strahd von Zarevich was pulled in to give testimony. I don't know what you mean by the party is involved with a lot of higher powers. I couldn't even begin to fathom what you mean.
Like...
Who's to say? What does that even mean? What's a higher power, really?
And how many of them have you weaponized into literal weapons that you're brandishing on your person?
Listen. We can't help it. We're just a right old bunch of troublemakers.
We're simple country bumpkins with no connection to deities.
Not at all. Who's the pale lady? I don't know her.
Speaking of higher powers, dear Lord Jerky, congrats on your awakening.
Yay!
Any new things or hobbies you're interested in now that you've acquired your newfound intelligence? How has your outlook on life changed? Will we ever get an in-depth jerkyography? Where can we pick up a book in jerkyology, the study of jerky? Lastly, why do you hate Lexi and Fen so much?
Yes, hello, I will be representing Jerky in this particular meeting. He's very busy at the moment, so I will be fielding the Lord's questions for him. As for new hobbies, the Lord Jerky has taken up a great deal of interest in constructing a bird trap, but not one for regular-sized birds. He's insisted it be large enough to catch a bird 100 times larger than the average bird. We have yet to find out what prey he has in mind.
Nor why their name is Aviana.
Or why their name is the ultimate bird, Aviana. It's a good thing he wasn't with them in the Skywall in this last episode, otherwise he would have seen The Rock and been like, new ultimate bird. As for his outlook on life, Jerky is now a lot more relaxed with his newfound sapience. He is able to comprehend what is and is not a danger to him more clearly, so he no longer thinks that everything is a null. So he's calmer, which is great. As for a book, no. The legacy of Jerky will die with Jerky.
Understandable.
And why does he hate Lexi and Fen so much?
Yeah, I would love to know.
Well,
It's not like I feed you or anything.
the fact that they have to ask speaks volumes.
Oh,
Important question. Who has a higher intelligence score, Sunder or Jerky?
I have an answer for you, but before I give it, I'm going to quickly make sure I'm right about a thing as I look it up real quick. Yes, it's Jerky.
wow! Come on!
Because the Awaken gives him the intelligence score of 10, which gives him 6 points, I believe, on Sunder.
Over
Oh my
double.
God.
In fact, if Sunder lost a point of intelligence, he would be eligible to have Awaken cast on him.
It's true.
I mean, it have to be a beast or a plant, but like still, you know, fucking close enough. Close enough.
Oh, that's
We're
funny.
just about there.
Ouch.
Poor
Oh,
Sunder.
well.
He's a good
Poor
boy,
Sunder
though.
of the Veering
Good
girl.
boy.
Fucking Jerky's just sitting there these days, just being like, all I'm saying is I'm not the party's pet anymore. His eyes, Sunder. That position has changed.
Just look at him. He doesn't have a thought behind those eyes.
Head empty.
Sunder eats a hand, like picks up a handful of snow, looks at it longingly, slowly. Oh.
Why is it so cold? Ah, brain freeze!
You do not threaten me.
Oh, next question I have is for Fenris. Actually, before I get into that next question, I gotta say, I condensed like 6 Jerky questions into one question because everyone was like, Jerky! Like,
Round of applause.
but yes, okay, next question. Dear Fenris, What was your life like when you lived with your parents?
Pretty chill to what she knows now. I mean, she probably studied with like her mom and dad and practiced some religion of like praying to Quinn. Just kind of doing her thing. Learning from her mom, some cooking. That's the only reason she knows how to make stew is because it's her mom's recipe. And that was the only thing she knew how to cook from her mom. And so she decided to expand her horizons, which was how she got the chef's feat.
Nice. Where were you raised with your parents, like, geographically?
Oh no! It was in Retia. I'm trying to remember specifically where, if there was a specific.
I have faith in you. You got this.
You can do it.
No. Wait,
I
let me in game.
Before we started recording, you said, I've played this character for 2 years, I'll be fine. Something to that effect.
It seems I've flown too close to the sun. Like
Icarus,
a
I common Icarus.
Yes. Oh no. I don't know if we got more specific. I really don't.
Are you sure? Are you sure that we didn't get more specific?
I'm trying to get into Fantasy Grounds right now. No bullet.
I don't have the campaign up, Brad. You won't be able.
I know. I'm trying to load the old one.
Are you sure?
The pressure is on.
Oh no. I feel like we did, but I'm not remembering. Shoot. But definitely Retia.
Yes.
Okay, so we've narrowed it down to what, a continent?
A continent, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was definitely born in North America somewhere.
Not close to Summergrass. Oh, come on. Where is it? Where is it on my sheet?
I'm enjoying this.
Leave me alone.
Dude, I was gonna ask the
It literally says born in Retia. That is it.
Yep, it's true. We never talked about it.
It's fine.
The earliest known thing that we have noted for you is that after your parents disappeared, you found yourself relocating to the Itonian capital to live. But before that, we sort of just... I believe we have the general understanding that you might not have lived in a settlement directly as much as, like, on whatever your parents' property was somewhere.
Yeah.
We never discussed an actual place. But you were in Mott, though.
Yeah.
Probably on, like, the eastern coast of Mott.
Yeah. Fenris wouldn't have run into many elves / Shadow Fae. Especially Shadow Fae.
Shadow Fae.
Yes. And
I had the weakest question to follow up with that, by the way, which was like, I was curious where you grew up with your parents because of, like, the recipes, ingredients, and if you could properly replicate it in your new area, if they had, like, the right fucking ingredients for it. Like, oh yeah, they don't have, like, the yam I used over here, so I'll have to use a regular potato. And it led to such ridiculous tension of, like, did we talk about it?
Oh god.
Love that.
I mean, it really did become, like, these are the ingredients I have, and they're going in a pot, and I'm calling it a stew.
Hell yeah. I got this recipe from my mom. You just grab whatever's available and you chuck it in a pot. It's a real complicated recipe.
I haven't seen anyone complain yet. Except for Lexi. That's more that it's not strawberries.
Yes.
Than actual concern.
Oh. But yes. Okay, cool. I appreciate that. It's fun. Heckin' getting a little bit into family stuff just a little bit deeper for Fenris. Dear Fenris, you once said that Fenris hated humans for what they did to her, her people, and her family. but at some point down the line, your opinions of them changed. Do you think you would have joined Elmira in exacting her revenge if it hadn't been?
As you answer this, I'm going to step away real quick to go get something. I'll be right back.
Okay, I'll remember you.
Alright. Alright, time for me to get all of the lore absolutely incorrect.
Perfect.
No. I think... I don't... That's a really good question. Because there was an anger in Fenris's heart for a very long time. But at the same time, her parents left her with the message. It was the only thing that she had from her parents, which is that the anger of few slays the kindness of many. And so, I don't know if she would have joined a organized attack against the people who did her wrong. To the point where now even, like, hearing what Hanzo, to tie it to your character, Chase, hearing the lore behind Hanzo kinda takes her aback.
Okay, question. Did that lore come out when I was there playing him, or, like, because I know I've been crazy busy in the last, like, half a year. Did Hanzo show up as an NPC proper, or was that in our...
No, this was when you were there. He hasn't shown up since. Still waiting for him to show up at the house so that they can talk over stew, and she can learn all about sun elves and the actual culture of her people.
It'd be so funny to me if nobody just, like, told him it was cool to do that. Like, he's just been like, yep, I still gotta stay in hiding. I can't come out. I had
back.
to pop out for the one dragon thing, but now I gotta lay low again. Like, just nobody comes to the warehouse to tell him.
Oh, bless, oh, Hanzo. Well, no one has. I mean, you could assume that, like, some of the other the PCs from the Suicide Squad probably went and got him.
I would think so, but it'd also just be really funny if their last interaction was like, yeah, just, you know, sure, I'll take some stew, you know, something hearty, I guess. I know all stew is hearty, but, you know, just something like that. And then, like, deals with the dragon and goes back there and just literally, like, fucking...
Well,
that
gotta
stew's
stay in
coming
hiding.
any day now. Any day now. Gotta stay in hiding. That stew's coming.
Oh, very
it
upsetting.
must be a real good stew. It's taking, like, months to make. It's crazy.
But I don't think Fenris would have joined Elmira, because I think the message her family left her was strong enough to steer her towards an alternative in the answer to the anger of few kills the kindness of many. Would be the kindness of few fosters innovation and, like, growth. I think that was a big...
Do you think you would have sat by and, like, let something happen if it was about to happen?
I mean, that really depends on how close Fenris would have been to that. I mean, the circumstances that would result in Fenris being around Elmira, or Fenris being around someone like Heckin' Hanzo, is so, like... It's hard for me to imagine, because at the time she was running away, because her biggest thing was to survive at that point. Since her family hadn't signed them up for the Pulverian Accord and she was being hunted down. She wasn't thinking of taking revenge or any of that, because, you know, she was... there were things above that in priority.
Fair. Totally fair. Last follow-up question for Fenris, just because we've been on a really good track and all these questions are lining up. Dear Fenris, a while back, with the help of a certain Hanzo boy, you all discovered the truth about Elmira, and y'all supposedly took it surprisingly well. What are your thoughts on Vogan's master being a factor in the discrimination of the druidic races? Has your opinion on Vogan changed at all with this knowledge? Do you have any ill will towards her, or have you let it go entirely?
I don't think her opinion on Vogan has changed, because Vogan, you know, is the separate entity to what Elmira did, and is kind of the embodiment of Elmira taking steps to changing things that she caused. I think there's, like, a level of resentment or discomfort I mean, the way that she found out is a lot better than it could have been. I think if it were Elmira who had revealed this to her, the fresh wound would have caused a more illicitly angry response. But since Fenris has had time to sit on it, and all of the changes that the world around her has started to make, gives her a lot of faith. But, like, in the same breath, she knows Elmira did that, and that person is still there. Because, like, you can change, but, you know, what you've done is part of who you are.
Yeah. That's fair. So if Elmira just, like, showed up at the house and was like, hey, y'all want a fucking party? Maybe not super about that.
Yeah, Fenris might be like, I'm gonna go for a walk.
My actions have no consequences!
I think I'm gonna stay at my girlfriend's for a little bit.
Oh, that's fair. Oh, that's a good time. I have some questions for the Logan boy now.
Yes, it's me. I'm the Logan boy. I'm here for questions. What do you want?
I got a couple fun ones I'm gonna
me.
throw at you. Question 1. Dear Logan, if someone set Mary Mist a sending spell, how would she reply? Would they see words in their head, or would they hear her inner voice?
So you don't actually, whenever sending is cast, you do not actually hear it, technically. And we've actually been over that particular caveat before. If you do hear it, but you can just, usually sending, you hear the words, and if you know the creature who sent it, you are aware that it was them, and people tend to play it as, like, you hear it in their voice, but that's not technically how it goes, so you just hear it in your mind, and if you know Mary Mist, you know that it's Mary Mist.
Okay. So it'd be, like, more or less the person who casts sending's internal voice knowing it's Mary Mist saying.
Because it's something we gloss over because we're kind of used to how telepathy works, but, like, the text of the spell, just for the fun of people who never thought about this. You know, the creature hears the message in its mind, recognizes you as the sender if it knows you, and can answer in a manner immediately. It doesn't say that you hear their voice. It's you hear the message, and you recognize the sender if you know them. So yeah, in this case, you would just hear their inner voice, or you just become aware of it. I like to just kind of imagine you just become aware of the message, as if it's a thought that occurred to you, but you are aware that it's different because the magic makes sure you do.
Yeah, like, I that makes sense to me, because, like, you know.
And the thing is, you can also do this to talk to things that don't speak your language.
Yes.
You can,
that's another big deal.
Miriam uses it at different points to give instructions to Winchester, because he doesn't, he's a horse, but he can, if you he told him to stay in town and he'd be taken care of, and Winchester's like, gotcha, I'll wait for Quintus.
Yeah, because it has, creatures with an intelligence score of at least 1 can understand the meaning of your message, so as long as they don't have a dash for their intelligence, they can pick it up.
Sending is a really interesting, I like that Miriam used it to try to communicate briefly with animals and whatnot. It's a really creative use of sending.
Yeah, it gets around, not having speak with animals.
Yeah.
In a way. It's neat. It's real neat. Next question for Logan.
Alright, I'm here.
Dear Logan, we hear a lot about how scary the pristine, mean, super clean queen with an extreme penchant for being quite mean is, but is there anything the Crystal Queen of Great Esteem does in her downtime? How does she blow off steam?
I mean, the party already kind of has answered that. They know. I mean, if she just needed blood, that'd be one thing, but she has a whole bloodletting room. She's actually a highly indulgent individual. It hasn't really come up a lot. Also, oh no, the party's also she is an avid collector of jewelry and expensive gemstones. The party briefly encountered that she has like a whole little area where she enshrines them in her castle. She's very lavish. She's very indulgent. She tends to take a load off by engaging in things that are a little bit extravagant. She's definitely one might even if you hadn't seen the other stuff that she does and how competent she is, one might even jump to the conclusion that she's a bit cartoonish. she's very much one of those, I don't need to bathe in blood, but, you know, I'm a vampire. Why not? Why not bathe in blood kind of vampires? I think it was briefly talked about that she has effectively a, I think the letter that Fenris and Marion picked up talks about the fact that the blood litter effectively goes down to a blood pool room. Yeah, she's, she blows off steam by engaging in acts of wealth, indulgence, and cruelty.
Okay, I have a question then based on the acts of wealth and indulgence caveat of this. So she lives in, like, basically a post-apocalyptic hellscape kind of area, right? Like, where does she get time to look at jewelry?
She can basically go wherever she wants at any given time. She's only been in the Strike Lands for, I can't remember how many years it's been at this point, but to her, it's nothing. It's been talked about that in the tundras to the southern border of Retia, she effectively had a small kingdom there, that she still has servants and whatnot in. She had a castle there. It's where Argo came from. She doesn't just live in the Strike Lands. She just also lives in the Strike Lands.
So what you're saying is, at any moment in a sufficiently populated city, the party could just run into the Crystal Queen in a shopping episode.
It isn't. Weirdly, if they are at the right place, it is entirely possible. I'd like
to imagine.
I don't think this can spoil anything, so I'll be real about this. There's a place, I don't know if we talked a lot with you about it, Chase, but the capital has been brought up a lot in regards to where the lady's from. The capital is in a part of the world called Heaven's Jaw, and the capital's the main city of it. It's where the royal family and whatnot lives. It is effectively a society that, to get in on it, apart from servants and vassals, it's basically just an entire society of nobles. Like, everybody there is of near royal lineage. It is, like... Ever since I heard that One Piece has, like, an equivalent to this, of, like, just a society made up of people who think they're gods, I've always been like, it's kind of basically that, except not with the god part. She absolutely has access to it, and absolutely spends time there, and nobody realizes it, but she super just lives in the most lavish city in, like, the non-elven world.
Oh, it'd be so funny to see, like, because she might even fucking own property there, hypothetically. And it would be so fucking hilarious if somebody did a B&E up there and just fucking broke in to her house and then realized after the fact, like, oh, we did that to this person. Oh no.
Oh shit.
That's definitely not what happened the first time.
I broke into Elizabeth Bathory's castle. Oh, wonderful. Oh, good.
I sense no danger here.
Actually, that's a really good way to go about it. Like, the way that she goes about her personal effects is very similar to what you could imagine the legend of Elizabeth Bathory to have been.
That's definitely not what happened in the sense of, we should go rescue Raleigh. Huh. This lady's pretty tough. Oh, she just killed a dragon in front of us?
With one attack?
Okay. With one attack? Ow! Oh! We're in trouble.
Heckin'.
Fucking great. There was a possibly fake story, but was still funny to me, that someone, like a thief or two, broke into literally Dolph Lundgren's house and tried to steal stuff, and then saw, like, family pictures of, like, one of the most jacked fucking people on the planet, like a master martial artist and shit, just lived in the house they happened to go into, and they just set everything down and left without taking anything.
That's funny.
And that's the energy that accidentally breaking into the Crystal Queen's house gives for me.
Yeah, man. It was like, oh, she got a blood room?
Oh, this is the room where she puts the blood. Oh, there's more than this room? This is the room where the blood enters, and there's another room where the blood stays? There's 2 blood rooms? That's delightful.
Oh, this is the blood room? Oh, this is the recreational blood room. As opposed to the business blood room? I'll see myself out, okay. That's good.
That? Olympic-sized pool. What? Oh no! Like, I remember going through that whole thing and being like, I think this is above our pay grade.
Oh, the blood is so fresh and plentiful that it never clots in there? It's not magic? Oh!
Goodness.
Although it is really funny to think, like, instead of, like, a pool that she might bathe in, it's an Olympic pool that she performs athletic maneuvers in. Like, she puts on a swimsuit and, like, does laps to stay fit in the blood pool.
The blood's almost incidental to what she uses it for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's really, really likes themes. That's all. Oh, that's great. Okay, last fun question for Logan in a row that I have. Dear Logan, I know you've probably long since forgotten about this, but I have to ask. You know those two guards that you and Cody were playing for a brief moment like 100 episodes ago while Lexi and Flint were talking? The ones that apparently were in a relationship and possibly getting a pet together? Yeah, how are they doing? Are they healthy? Did they survive the Tenebros incident? Are they getting married anytime soon? They're, according to this person, they're literally the only canon MLM relationship in Vestige that we know of, and I just want to know if they're okay.
I hate to say this, but I don't remember them being in a relationship. As far as canon MLM relationships go, I mean, it's not my fault that Miriam keeps making mistakes. Heckin'.
I mean, we know Argo was a fucking.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He kept trying to get with Argo, but he kept bringing up Argo's PTSD at the wrong moments.
Oh yeah, that's not great.
I mean, they're doing okay.
That's good. So they survived.
Am I remembering the wrong ones? Pretty
sure. Was there another group of guards that were getting a pet together?
I think I know the exact ones they're talking about, especially since they say that like Cody, heckin'
played one.
Cody. Yeah, no, I there are. I don't want to say this because I don't like trying to like, you know, J.K. Rowling in representation. I like it to just be apparent. But there are heckin' MLM relationships that have been on display that I guess people just haven't necessarily caught on to. Usually I don't bring them up unless characters have like some reason to dive into them, though, is the thing. I can just like there's been a I don't like bringing up. I hate this because I hate like saying it in this format feels disingenuous to me. But there's also been a couple of trans characters that have come up that there's been no reason to talk about. And now my brain's on this path of being like, I want to... I'm not the best person to, like, express those stories directly, but they're there.
As much as I get you.
I'm venting out my own frustration here.
I also would very much like to know, one, they definitively survived the Tenebros incident?
Oh yeah, they're fine.
Okay, did they get a pet?
Sure.
It's true.
Which pet did they get? On the spot, go.
They went out looking for the pet that they had been looking for, but they found that the pet market was a bit more scarce than they thought it would be, so they ended up picking up a Doberman.
From where?
What a fucking plot twist.
From
just like go into their neighbor's yard. Sweet Doberman.
They found
That's mine.
They found a breeder who specifically breeds Dobermans, and they got it. They did. They got the Doberman, and now they have a Doberman, and they love it.
Hell yeah.
And it's their Doberman.
What'd they name the Doberman?
Doberman.
I believe it. That's an appropriate name. You know, it's a little on the nose, but it works.
I mean, it says what you're there for.
They named it Hey You.
That's great. I'm here for it. I love it. Oh, speaking of dog-based things, dear Fenris, what are your thoughts on Sunder? You have any you feel any kinship
Doberman.
with him as a fellow member of the Shy Boys squad? How do you want your relationship with him to progress? Also, how do you feel about this new Doberman that these two guards got? They named him Doberman.
I don't support the naming of Doberman. I actually have strong opinions and values towards this, and will be making. I'm joking.
Well, you gotta name him.
Yeah, you gotta name him. Come on, find a good. You could name him Walnut. Come on.
You just said that you don't support the naming of Doberman. What, you just want all Doberman to go without names?
I believe that they should be named by personality and by nut value.
What if one has... What?
By not value makes it sound like, hello and welcome to our household, $23.
Did you hear not value? I heard nut value.
No, it's not value.
I heard nut value.
Not value!
Nut value!
Hello, 2 walnuts and a pistachio.
I'm just saying, Fenris has had 2 animals that she has named in this full campaign, and their names are Peanut and Almond.
Nut value. We're
Nut value.
Right. Nut value.
Well.
Okay, which one is more valuable?
An almond, 'cause it's bigger.
Okay.
And size matters. I'm so sorry.
Animal names, apparently.
I'm so sorry.
What's the
but
least
you
valuable? Like, I'm curious now. I gotta find like what the smallest nut is and the largest nut. I have to know where the scale is.
10 out of 10. As for Sunder, Fenris is like, she's enamored with him. She thinks he's just one of the sweetest, cutest things ever. Just in the sense of how, like, he responds to things. Like, obviously, you can't see the players' faces a lot at all, when we're playing Vestige, but most of the time that Sunder is speaking, I as Brett and I as Fenris am just, like, holding my face and looking at the screen. Just like, ah! Because he is a member of the Shy Boys squad.
I just think he's neat.
I just think he's neat. She does feel kinship with him in the sense of sometimes he can't wrap his head around something with that sweet, sweet foreign intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
And as Fenris hasn't been exposed to certain things, and so she can relate to him in that, she would love to get to know him better, because it seems like, as much as he's like Vogan's friend and like Vogan's like kind of charge, in the sense of like eventually we have to go to where we need to go with Sunder for Vogan. No one's asking stuff about Sunder of the Veering Grove, and Fenris is just so curious. He's the first person that we've met that's of the Beastman tribes, and so she would love to learn more about him, but she doesn't want to overstep. So I think they'll be doing, you know, like when you run into someone in a hallway and you both like move to get out of the other one's way, but you both move to the same side, and so you're doing like a shuffle back and forth, and you're both like, sorry, oh no, sorry. I feel like that's how their relationship will perhaps stand still.
I approve. I'm having, on a side note, I'm having issues finding what the smallest nut in the world is and not finding definitive notes. It's between a pine nut and a cashew, allegedly.
Cashew. Cashew's at the bottom of the nut value scale.
But Coco de Mer is the largest nut. It's bigger than like a human head at full size.
Dear God.
So that has to be the Doberman's backup name, just in case there's some sort of court order demanding a renaming of Doberman the Doberman.
Here.
I'm glad we settled that. I'm neutral on the whole Sunder thing, but I'm really glad we settled the nut thing.
Yeah, the nut thing needed to be explained.
I was very invested in that.
Investiged.
Got him.
Sorry.
Investiged of nut. Dear Fenris, how did your horn get broken?
Oh no. Okay. So, during the time that Fenris was running away, There were a couple times where Fenris either was captured or nearly captured. And, I mean, she said it to Tantia in the first session. Or I would say this was the second session where Tantia had kidnapped Fenris and put manacles on her. And Fenris said it as a flirt, but it was an unfortunately resoundingly true thing of, you're not the first girl to put me in manacles, and I doubt you'll be the last. Because Fenris has been caught a couple times, and through one of the altercations, kind of fighting for her life, her horn was snapped off. Through just the brute force of... It was one of those moments of, like, do I give up? And just like that, I want to live, I want to live, I want to live. Kind of causing her to move in a way in which her horn was just completely snapped off. She's actually very insecure about her horn.
Oh.
Although,
Would you look for a false horn to, like, adjust it?
I think... the reason why she didn't, like, put anything over it was because it was a glaring sign that she had been through what she had been with the Parvarian Accord, and because she still has strong feelings towards the blatant ostracizing of druidic races. She wears it as like a badge of pride, in the sense of, you know, yeah, I'm a Shadow Fae, I'm a Shatterkai, and I have been through these trials, I have been discriminated, and I have had violence towards me, but I have persevered. And not only am I the champion of the Valor Belts, but I am the champion of Summergrass. And those are things you can't take away from me, even if I have only one horn.
That's heckin'
And so now it's a thing of pride. She used to be really insecure about it. And like, if you pointed it out now, she'd be like, ah, awkward.
Gotcha. That's cool. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was how your horn got broken. That's neat.
Yeah.
Heckin', I got a Logan question.
Oh?
Logan!
Dear Logan! Tantia got Fenris, Rory got Avi, Miriam boned Scandal, Quinn liked Lyra, Vogan likes Mary Mist. There's kinda something going on with Lexi and Flint. Are you hunting the players' hearts in this campaign? Are you trying to get the full set?
I just put people in the world, and the people do whatever the people do. And the Nat19 people are a bunch of gimme thats. So, they doing the gimme that.
Sometimes I like them, and sometimes I like them a lot.
Yeah, this is fucking, they doing what they kinda gosh darn got gone do dun diddle dun din 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 duddly. Neighborino.
Heckin'.
So the answer is yes.
Sure.
It was so funny because I think earlier in Vestige, it was one of the questions talking about Tantia, and you were like, yeah, and people don't usually go after NPCs for relationships. Cut to now.
Yeah, well, yeah, I made the comment that the Nat19 players usually didn't follow up on like stuff with NPCs, and they just kind of stayed within the party, which I was like, there's nothing wrong with, but I like breaking habits.
Yeah, man.
Like on that topic, Aaron and I talk quite a bit about players' natural tendencies to gravitate towards specific other players, no matter who they're playing, and it's like that's as fun as that can be. You should try not to do it. Like as fun as assuming that person's gonna be there and you're gonna get to roleplay with them. When your character's like fucking, as a random example, when fucking Bread's character is always somehow the best friend of Chase's character, no matter who it is, it starts to become like, all right, come on, stop it. So I like
Listen, I don't know what to tell you.
I just like setting up.
We don't coordinate at all. He just happened to play a Sen Elf, okay?
I try to
back off, Logan.
I try to offer situations that organically push people away from their habits a little bit more, because I think that people long term have more fun whenever they're not just doing the same thing they always do. Sometimes I'm successful and sometimes I'm not.
It's always fun when you get to interact with someone that you don't always think to go out of your way. Like, heckin' example, in Vestige, the opportunities that I've had to talk to Flux have been really, really heckin' awesome. And like, you know, I don't roleplay with Izzy that often within the campaigns. And so I think that's been really fun.
Yeah.
Like, I don't roleplay with Izzy often in the campaigns, like smash cut to all the shit with Raleigh.
Listen, a lot of that was like a lot of that was like Fenris's opinions. That doesn't count. That was far and in between, and then he fucking croaked. Okay? Listen, Chase.
Negative interactions are still roleplay.
I'll kill you, you know?
This counts as roleplay. What a dad. Next question. Speaking of roleplay, dear Fenris, how much did you want to yell at Miriam when you found out what happened after he removed the amulet of proof against detection and location?
I mean, Fenris kind of has landed at the point of like, it's Miriam. He's going to do it whether I yell at him or not. And so at this point, all she can do is like support his perhaps in her opinion poor choices. I mean, she just was flabbergasted. She would never think to even do that, because that would put the party as a whole in danger.
So there was a lot of intention to yell, but you just kind of chilled with it. Just like, there's a lot of yelling.
Well, it wouldn't change anything. Like, the conflict would only lead to Fenris taking, like, a step back from her friendship with Miriam, and, like, to her, it's not beneficial. Although, I feel like she feels more strongly about when... So, by the way, Chase, since there was an Arcanoloth who showed up, we were at this town, we came to this town, and we found out there was an Arcanoloth, and a bunch of these devilish homies trying to get in and mess with things. And I'll jump back even further. We were fighting a servant of Fierna named Legion, and in both instances, Miriam decided to get Fierna involved, which is something that frustrates Fenris maybe more, because her involvement really hurt the party. Like, this whole situation with Fierna having Quintus in hell was basically spun because Miriam kept pestering people about Fierna. So, like, when Legion got back, she heard about it. And when the Arcanoloth tried to cast, what is it? Contact via planes? I don't remember the specific
Contact other
spells.
plane.
Yeah, there you go. You know, those were two instances of don't poke the bear that Miriam took a stick and directly, like, pestered the bear, and now we're suffering the consequences of. And so I think Fenris would want to yell at Miriam more for those instances versus the contacting the Fenian via removing the amulet, because those actually had direct repercussions to the party.
So is that more of a yell at him after the fact based on the consequences, or like a you can just do whatever?
I mean, it's a... Are you aware of your surroundings? Are you aware that this could harm all of us? And it's not just... I know that you, for some reason, don't seem to care about the repercussions on your behalf, but these things are starting to weigh a toll on the rest of us as well, whether we want to be involved or not.
So, like, just to double check, because I'm pretty sure this math adds up in my head, but maybe I have a detail or two wrong. Doesn't Miriam, like, care most about Quintus? Isn't, like, Quintus his favorite person, like, forever?
Yup. I mean, the intention there was that Miriam would have chosen to stay in hell, and that would have been the end of the situation. But Fierna, I think Fierna can read minds, or something along those lines. And when he chose Aviana to represent him, Fierna was like, no. Quintus Valorbelt, you will be representing Miriam Lucius. And so, like, Miriam probably feels awful about this. So there's no point, because the flames that Miriam has been playing with have finally burned him, and have burned the whole party. And so hopefully, like, I think this would come to if he put the party as a whole in danger like that again, there would be a reason for Fenris to yell. Because the moments passed. Her yelling at Miriam would never bring Quintus back.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels like, all of his actions up to now and being so reckless have directly led to potentially the loss of the most important person in his life.
Yeah, and I feel like that's punishment enough.
Fair. Yeah, yelling is more of a cherry on top at that point, ultimately.
It'd just be gilding the lily. Like, it just wouldn't be worth it. And also, Fenris deeply loves Miriam, and wouldn't want to be the person to twist that that pain, to twist it and aggravate it. Like, this isn't the moment to go, I told you so.
I don't know. I think a healthy "I told you so" every once in a while. I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just fine. Yeah.
It's fine.
It's fine. Dear Logan. I know you may not answer. Your world seems to have gods from D&d like Tiamat, and they've either been long dead or sealed long enough that no one remembers them. Without giving an exact number, can you say how long these gods have been gone? I'm guessing like maybe 10,000 years or something like that?
Well, first of all, Tiamat's not a god. So that's the first part of my answer. Tiamat was a god, but Tiamat's not a god. The second part of my answer is, alright, take that 10,000.
Yep.
And put a plus on the end of it.
Okay, I got a little plus, yep.
And then add a question mark.
Okay.
And that's your answer.
Okay, so more than 10,000, unless the plus of the question mark is a negative number. And then you gotta really think about it.
Ooh.
That could even be like 9,999. They might have
Or
just,
maybe.
like, left last year.
Or maybe. Or maybe it means that in 10,000 years they will be sealed. And then be sent back in time and they're sealed. Who knows? Who knows what's going on with the history of Somnus Domina? Who's to say?
Maybe the gods are the friends we made along the way.
Do I know? Yeah. Am I making it up as I go? Oh, who knows? Maybe I could be. Do I definitely know a lot about it because that's how I do? Could be. I might be. I might have wasted a lot of time on this over the past decade of my life. Or maybe I'm saying that to give myself legitimacy. Who knows the answer?
Because, I mean, that's kind of the backstory for Mind Flayers or something like that, where they, like, got to the end of wherever and then went back in certain settings. So, maybe gods are pulling a Mind Flayer.
Maybe they're pulling a Mind Flayer.
Maybe they're
cheeky little Mind Flayer.
It's been long enough. It's been long enough that elves have forgotten them, for the most part. That the old world is not remembered by elven society.
That's a long-ass time. Damn.
Or elves stuck in this setting, and we'll never really know.
Maybe all the elves actually do know about all of it, and they're just complicit in some god conspiracy.
I mean, the only person playing an elf character in this call is Fenris.
That's bullshit! You are also playing an elf!
I don't know what you mean. Fenris doesn't know about the thing, so I think there's an elf conspiracy going on.
The fall of the old world of gods, I will tell you, happened at least before the campaign.
Up! That's just ominous enough to work.
It's Dominus, Somnia.
Got him. Dear Fenris, are you at all concerned with the fact that your girlfriend puts very little value on her own life? If she ever went on a mission that you were 100% convinced she would never make it back from, how would that affect your relationship? Would you stop her by force if you had to, or would you just accept that that's the end of your time together?
Oh man, these questions are good. I don't think Fenris is concerned. I mean, it stresses her out from time to time. Amongst the white hair, there's actually some gray hairs given to her via girlfriend. I I think Fenris appreciates the Tanti as one of those people who lives her life to the fullest. Like, I feel like if you asked Tantia if she regretted any of the choices she's made, the answer would be no. And I think Fenris values that a lot as someone who understands how short life can be for some races in the grand scheme of things. I think if Fenris knew she was going on a mission that she might not come back from, Fenris would try to go with her, even if that meant facing death herself, because she would probably want to be there and to ensure that Tantia was given every chance possible. Like, that would be very, so we're going to the store and I'm buying as many heckin' diamonds as I can, and worst comes to worst, I'm gonna revive you multiple times and you're just gonna, you know, that's just gonna be how it goes. If you really want to go do this thing, I support you.
So, if this was a circumstance where it's not that she might be facing death and might die, but is somehow, you just, you know, magic, you just know, 100%, she's absolutely gonna die, but still wants to do this thing. Like, she maybe isn't convinced or whatever. 100% gonna die. Would Fenris still go
would
with
stop
her?
her? I don't think so. If Tantia said with full certainty it was something she had to do, Fenris understands and respects that. And it would break Fenris's heart into a bagillion pieces, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And who is Fenris to step in the way of Tantia living her life fully?
That's fair. Speaking of guaranteed and certain death, dear Logan, how afraid are you that the party is going to wander off into the frozen unknown and be immediately wiped out by those ungodly powerful ice wolves? Do you think they stand a better chance if they just roll over and accept them as the rightful rulers of this and any other world?
Totally. Get a large enough winter wolf pack and they're unbeatable, just unstoppable.
Into the unknown.
They'll surround you. They'll all do their cone attacks. That'll be it for you. You're done. The sooner the party realizes this, the better.
There's a reason that Satsumaru is the Crystal Queen and not the Ice Queen. Because the wolves have that domain. That belongs to the wolves. The wolves are the owners of all things ice.
Damn straight they are.
Yep. That's just an unquestioned fact about this world. We don't know, like, when the gods got sealed or whatever, but we know that the wolves own all things cold.
But we know it was the winter wolves that did it.
They're just that strong. What magnanimous rulers these winter wolves are. I'm so proud. Next question also for Logan. Dear DM Sama-san-chan, in certain streams you've mentioned some NPCs have player levels while others do not. Is there any rhyme or reason to who has levels, or is it random?
It depends on what they're gonna be doing, I guess. I mean, how to put this? I structure them around player levels because it's an easy jumping off point for creating them, but even the ones that have like character sheets, they usually have other features, or they have features from later on that they shouldn't have, or spells they're not supposed to have, or additional features that normally a class wouldn't have. Almost no PC, like in-game, functions like a one-to-one, it is this class in this race, and it is built specifically this way. I think that thinking that they would have to be is restrictive and pointless, because your players should never be looking at any NPC as how do your mechanics work. They should be looking at them as this is how you function in the world. Like, they are just a creature. So yeah, there's no real rhyme or reason to it. Sometimes I just build them like that because it's a good skeleton, and then I go off from there. I actually think it's, as time goes on, I'm actually more prone to just making ones that resemble PCs and not ones that actually have PC levels.
Fair. So, like, just whatever it makes the most sense for how you want them to feel mechanically, just kind of do,
Yep,
basically.
they are what they should be, and that's it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I get that. So if you ever wanted to give, I don't know, something like one of those ice wolves player levels because it just makes sense, then yeah, you just do that.
To give them more features than they have would only weaken them. They would be a distraction, Chase.
It's true. They just have like instant win as an ability that recharges at the top of their turn immediately every single time. And to give them other abilities, just a hat on a hat.
They have pack tactics and they have ice breath. And why any creature would need more than those two things together, I don't know.
At that point, it's just a matter of like, hit points and additional, like bonuses and proficiencies. But why ever do anything else? I agree.
No, they're
Just
perfect.
Yeah, it's just optimization at this point. I agree. This question is from me. I'm asking this question.
Okay.
Dear Logan, if Quinn is trapped in hell, does that make Argo the new leader of the highest standard?
Yep.
Oh my god, I didn't even think of that!
Yep, no, I know the party hasn't addressed it. I've been kind of thinking about if they ever will. Yeah, no, Argo is currently, if Quinn is unavailable, Argo is the top of the food chain.
But wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Then, what happened to Vogan being the leader?
That's just a thing Quinn said.
Oh no, I thought that they went and did paperwork.
You
guys!
It's really, that particular change doesn't really hold all that much water. It's like, it exists, but the founders are still Quinn and Argo. And without Argo's express permission to, like, change up that, it's... So, effectively, okay, think of it this way. Quinn and Argo were the head of the combined highest standard Iocane, like, conglomerate. Quinn basically gave Vogan the authority to be the head of the highest standard, for whatever that means, which is, like, if we're being real, not really anything. But he did not he did not make Vogan an equal member in, like, the heads of the Iocane highest standard conglomerate. Argo is now the only one who has authority over both sides. Because the highest standard and Iocane are kind of like subdivisions of the same guild at this point, with Quinn and Argo previously being on top. Now Argo's on top. Not that he's going to do anything about it. He doesn't care.
I'm so excited to see what our benevolent tyrant Argo will make the party do.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Can't wait to see what kind of suicide he's going to lead people into.
It'll be fine. He's renowned for making sound decisions based purely off of fact and would never do anything untoward. Ever.
It's true.
Famously reserved character, Argo. I love it. Next question I have is for Fenris.
Little old me.
Dear Fenris, if you hadn't become a cleric of Tequin, what do you think you'd be doing right now? How would that change your dynamic with people in the party?
Oh gosh. I don't know what Fenris would be doing. Maybe I feel like she would have been a more melee class, because she was definitely fighting a lot at the time, which is why she's more of a combat cleric now. So she might have just taken levels in, like, fighter instead. I don't think it would have changed her dynamic with the party too much. Maybe she wouldn't be as patient as she is. She might have been more irritable. But I think she still would have landed at the Fenris we know and love today.
That's a good time. Do you think you'd still become the champion of the various things you're a champion of?
Maybe. I mean, I think her being a spellcaster did help her a lot, because she was able to heal herself. But if we're looking at this technically, she would have had more health, and with her stats, I probably would have poured more into strength and into constitution. So, I don't know.
Do you think that you'd still be able to beat Vogan?
Yes. Why not?
Easy. He's easy. He's weak. Terrible.
If you didn't pull fucking 5 cards and those cards were good cards, heckin', I still think Fenris could have kicked his butt. If they were the same level, game over.
You just pull 5 cards and it's 5 Reapers, and it's like, I feel like this deck is stacked against me.
Hey!
Which one of you flatfoots put 5 Reapers in my deck? Oh, it's a good time. Also for Fenris, speaking of you being religiously inclined, dear Fenris, now that your god is giving you warnings, do you feel like Tequin is keeping a close eye on you? If so, do you think she's doing so out of care that you might be hurt, or is she concerned with the trouble of the highest standard is always getting into?
I don't think it's that deep. First, would it be they because the Tequin is 2 entities?
Tequin's
because
they,
they're
yeah.
twins.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think they more kind of were like, hey, we noticed you're in the area of this whole hell situation, and we don't fucking like that very much, so we're gonna ping you and let you know that this all is going down. Because really, the only vision that Tequin has given her is that this Arcanoloth was coming, and
That's
something
not
very
true.
bad was...
Oh.
Oh shoot. Oh no. There was another vision, but they're not the visions that I've been having about the, what looks like, Cahulas. They're not giving me those visions.
Correct.
But they are giving me... What was the other warning? Wait. Just regale me. Give me one little brain blast moment, please.
You were receiving visions from Tequin as early as, the town with the tree of loathsome nightmares.
Yes.
This is not a new thing. This is a thing that's been going on forever.
No, yeah. Which is why I'm like, I don't think it's a closer eye. I
No.
think it's more that because Fenris is there, like, the ping is going off, like, oh, undead. Oh, these hellish beasts. Hey, cleric of us. Fix that?
Yeah.
I
Fenris,
think it's more that. I don't think it's personal.
Fenris, I mean, it's personal that you prayed to Tequin, but Fenris has only been on, in the course of the campaign, maybe like 5 major excursions from the town, at most. Not even necessarily that, and on, and in these 2 cases, they got visions because they were heading somewhere that Tequin thought that their involvement could be worthwhile, because there was either... Hiccup, sorry. There was either intense undead activity going on, or there was a, Yugoloth invasion going on. It's not that Tequin's been getting more involved, it's just that those are the only 2 situations where it made sense for Tequin to be like, hey, could you, this is concerning.
Yeah.
I really like that basically you're doing your fucking thing, and you get a fucking ping from Tequin, and they're just like, hey, Fenris, hey, couldn't fucking help but notice that, you're in, you're fucking all the way in fucking actual hell! You mind explaining yourself?
Young lady, where have you been? Why do you smell like Asmodeus's stinky pits? What's going on?
Just
This
imagine.
is why we instated the curfew.
Just imagine
For this exact-
Tequin just being like, so you left from the material plane and went to Gehenna, and then you came back from hell! You want to explain how you ended up going to hell before coming back to give the material plane?
How was that? Was that good for you?
I don't like your tone, Tequin.
You arrive
You know,
back
there's
in
a
the prime
union for
material
things like
plane,
this.
and there's just like, it's nighttime, and you just see a lamp get turned on, and Tequin is sitting in 2 armchairs in the middle of the road that you have appeared back and being like, we've been waiting. Did you have fun?
Do you have any idea what plane it is?
Tequin, I was in Gehenna for like maybe a couple of hours. God. You know, you're not my mom. The pale lady turns around as well. Oh shit.
Third lamp turns on.
Yeah.
They're like the kind of lamps that you have like a pull string on them.
Yes. It's rainbow. Oh no.
Oh, I love it. What a good time. Heckin', I'm gonna do a couple Logan questions.
All right.
Heck yeah.
Dear Logan, how did you come to make the idea of a cursed holy avenger? Is there any real possibility of it being cleansed or redeemed by the party, or was that just a delusion?
Yeah, no, it can be fixed. I mean, anything could be fixed. You could use a wish spell to fix it. But as for the exact nature of it, if it ever feels to me like something that is not remotely possible to address in campaign, then I will speak of it publicly. But as is my policy, if it still could affect the game, then I'm not going to talk about it. Uh-oh, I'm going to sneeze.
I'll do it. Do it.
Okay, as for the possibility of a cursed holy avenger, nothing really inspired it per se, beyond just the idea of the most holy of weapons that a paladin could have, being cursed and distorted by the actions of a corrupt and misguided paladin. Just a neat set piece to me.
Just looking at a holy avenger and going, what if it was cursed?
Yeah, basically.
Like, that was it. Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Especially because it has the wonderful dramatic caveat of it. It will only curse who attunes to it. It's looking to curse a paladin.
Sadly, there's just none available.
Yeah, man.
Sadly. Hell and whatnot. Anyway, dear Logan, what was going through Riven's mind when she was told to choose between her revenge and the quote-unquote redemption?
Revon.
Thank you. Sorry.
Chase, you should know these. Chase.
I don't watch the
Chase.
show!
You should have
It's not on the wiki!
Don't you have a spreadsheet of all the pronunciations just right there in front of you?
Yeah, come on.
Don't
Chase.
they all have a
Name alone,
Don't they all have
Logan!
a Google Translate style button where you can click it and it will say twice?
Revon. Revon.
Don't you have that? I'm pretty sure you have that.
Could you please, for me, say the character's full name?
Revon Ozisker Vimoth?
Ozisker Vimoth. Okay.
Ozisker Vimoth.
Ozisker Vimoth. Okay, yeah, because I saw that and I was like, I'm gonna go with just the first name and see how well I do. And then I didn't even get that far.
Revon Ozisker Vimoth.
I don't even know if I'd be able to properly pronounce the alias.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
3 letters, but
Una.
I'm not confident. Una. Okay.
As for the actual question, what was going through their mind whenever they were told to choose between their revenge and their quote-unquote redemption? They were... The joking answer is, they were thinking about what they should choose between their revenge and their quote-unquote redemption. What was going through their mind? Circumstance and... how to put this? I don't believe in the black and white, like, society is evil. This person's been led to believe that, oh no, they've been shown their society was evil and now they don't believe in it. Like, I don't believe that you take the dark elf. If you take the drow out of drow society for a month, I don't believe they're gonna be like, oh, we were bad the whole time? Like, Revon still believes in their, like, the caste system in their society. They still hold that they knew what they were doing. So, as much as I'm sure people would want it to be as, like, optimistic and black and white as them being, like, I've decided to be good and diplomatic, it wasn't that. It was, they sought the path of the most satisfying redemption they could get, of the most likely victory they could get. I mean, they did soften up quite a bit, and they're happy to be free from the people who threw them out, and they have specifically turned against the Olisfanes, and they don't want to be back under their service after what they did to her brother. But it was largely a contentious issue that had a lot more to do with just where would she be treated better personally, weighed against how satisfying would it be to specifically take down Jaith and Emerald, which they in particular are some of the brattiest of the royalty among the drow that are within the Congression. So It was largely that. It was largely just a weighing of factors and considering survival versus short-term revenge.
Understand.
I wish I could say they awakened to justice, but unfortunately, I find those answers to be, in this context, the least realistic.
Fair. I wish I could have more follow-up questions, but, like, this character's entire thing is so outside of my purview and knowledge of the campaign, I would need, like, a whole breakdown of, like, everything from, like, world events and things, it seems like.
That's fair.
So I will believe you in everything that you just said. And
Okay,
take that
thank
at face value. Yes. Next question I have is for Fenris, which this question in particular is really funny that it's to Fenris and not Logan, but I'm just gonna see what happens here.
Okay, I won't answer it,
Dear
whatever it is.
Specifically Fenris
no.
and not
Okay.
Logan.
Yeah.
If the Quinn and the Pale Lady were to throw down for the honor of being Fenris's #1 god, who would win and what would their strategies be? Would they have a favored terrain or perhaps weapons of choice?
Oh God, what the? You're asking me?
Yeah, I know. That's what the question's for.
Oh, I've often thought about this. I can't wait to find out the answer.
Yeah. Tell me, Fenris. As such a devoted student of both entities.
I feel like knowing that the Pale Lady is not currently active and was not in a good way the last time I saw her, maybe Tequin would win. Also, action economy. I mean, 2 against 1. As for strategies and terrain and stuff, I wouldn't know. I also think that the Tequin would probably win in a real, but also the Pale Lady has like ancient powers, so I don't know.
Unlike
would
the
like
rest
to
of
think
them
that-
gods.
Yeah, all these
Listen.
other gods, too new.
Listen.
Far too fresh.
Well, I mean, we also don't know that much about the Pale Lady still. Like, we're learning, but, like, we don't know what happened. Why they aren't widely known.
Why they wouldn't be the Tequiner of the fight.
That was awful.
Thank you. I thank you for noticing. I thought it was really funny that this question was directed.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for playing, but wrong person to ask.
Okay, unrelated, totally different question.
Yeah.
Dear Logan, if Tequin and the Pale Lady were to throw down for the honor of being Fenris's #1 god, who would win and what would their strategies be? Would they have a favorite terrain or perhaps weapon of choice?
Their favorite terrain would be the grassy fields of High Wave. And
Who? Like, just both of them would choose
both
this?
of them would choose the grassy fields of High Wave, believing it would give them an advantage, but nay. For they both are as equally unremarkable in any given terrain as the other.
They mainly chose this area
No, you
purely
are-
because it was away from the mighty ice wolves.
I'm speaking purely from a stance of like what you guys know versus a little bit just about what you can infer. The Pale Lady, if you are to believe that they are a god, holds the status of a quasi-deity at most. They don't have enough backing. They are a remarkable individual in that with the amount of worship they do get, they're able to provide what they can, but they have a level of worship where they shouldn't even be able to function as a god. They shouldn't have the power. They don't really have a portfolio. Not all gods necessarily need worship to have power, but they do need worship to have influence and be able to spread their power within the prime material plane. Like, they can't hold the status of a god if they are under a certain level of devotion. Tequin is an actual proper god. Like, Tequin would. Tequin is... If the two were to somehow get in just a no-holds-barred fight, the Pale Lady can barely manifest. In fact, I've never really brought it up, but there's a very specific reason why in the two places the Pale Lady manifested, they were able to manifest. Those conditions were very specific. They can't appear in most situations.
Which is forever vexing why the Pale Lady was like, come find me.
Yeah, who knows what that's about. Tequin, on the other
Come
hand,
find me, I can be in any of two places.
with the exception of the fact that the Divine Curtain holds the power of full gods back from the prime material plane, if we take that out of the equation, like, Tequin is in a different world than the Pale Lady. So, they would win.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Tequin's not a
Plus
god
it's
based on
long.
combat, though, is also the other thing. Like, they are related to the arts and preservation of them. They're not a particularly violent deity.
So you're saying that Tequin would conspire to come up with the most heinous insult ever conceived, and it would just fucking crumple the Pale Lady?
It's true, they would god-tier vicious mockery the Pale Lady to death.
1 million D4 damage. The most heinous insult ever slung.
On one vicious mockery is 100 D4 and a permanent disadvantage on self-esteem checks.
Just permanent disadvantage, even on weapon damage rolls.
Oh.
On all dice rolls, forever. You're just that hurt, if you're even still alive.
Yep. But yeah, Tequin is the greater god between them, just based off of what's currently going on, so just based on that, Tequin beats the Pale Lady.
Makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. Next question that is totally still for Fenris, and won't at all be for Logan. Dear Fenris, it's been said that you would be treated differently on Cthulhu. Care to explain why that is? Also, it's been said that Fenris doesn't know much about her race's history. So what does she know?
Okay, this is great because I can actually answer this because this is basically what Fenris's knowledge is. So I'm answering both of these questions in one question, or one answer. Basically, Fenris is a race called the Shatterkai, or the Shadow Fae, and that in Cthulhu, they're seen as, like, the utmost secret, like, ninjas, I guess, is the best phrasing I can think of at this moment in history. And so when they show up, you know you're getting word directly from the highest of highest order within Cthulhu. And so she would be treated differently because Fenris kind of veers off of the standard expectations for a Shatterkai. Because for one, she's a cleric. For two, she's not stealthy at all. And for three, her personality is kind of shaped around the fact that she's lived in Retia versus amongst other elves. And so, while we haven't necessarily seen the juxtaposition, I mean, between Hanzo and Elmira, I would say it's been boldly highlighted how different she is. And that's all she knows, because that's all I know, too.
There
Jazz
you
hands.
go. Jazz hands.
Jazz hands.
Jazz
She
hands.
would love
up
to
my
learn,
throat.
though. That's why she wants to talk to Hanzo so bad.
Yeah. Hanzo, sadly, is still in the bunker of shame, believing that that's still required. I never had that was so promised to him so long
A
ago.
strong gust of wind causes the cell door to swing ajar because it's not locked.
Hanzo just, like, scuttles behind a loose crate immediately. I might be discovered! And just, like, dives under a crate. There's literally nothing keeping him there. It's great. But yeah, I had one more question for the elf. The elf whose faith is a wealth unto itself, who astounds and confounds with courage unbound, the champion of the glass crown, the defier of death, aspiring chef, the one who you can depend upon, and it's not a con. It's Fenris.
Oh, getting to it.
Do you have any plans for your future with Tantia? Is there any goal that you want to achieve with Tantia?
Yes, there is. So glad you asked. I mean, when Quintus Vanderbilt gave the estate deed to Fenris, I doubt that he was expecting her to want to do something with that plot of land, but Fenris has plans, and she wants Tantia to be involved in them and to cultivate it. It's kind of like what she imagines is like their project, because they might not always be around each other at the same time, but when they do converge, it's a project that they can work on together and grow closer with. And she really just wants to be there with Tantia to see what Tantia grows to become. And if that's by her side as a romantic partner, Fenris is all the way there. And if it's not, Fenris also understands that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you think Tantia is the type to settle down and try to, you know, figure out how to grow beans or something.
Good old beans.
I don't...
You know, you never know.
Listen, don't say beans 3 times in the mirror, otherwise David Dern appears. We're not trying to have that happen.
You must fear the dread demon Beetlejuice.
I do. I fucking do. After fate, yes indeed.
Hey, what did I tell you? It's a story about beans!
As for goals, I mean, just personal goals. I mean, she would love to be there for when Argo finally takes revenge on the Crystal Queen. And Tantia will probably be there for that because it's Tantia and it's Argo. And so I guess that's a plan for the future. You know, Rory and Aviana may be planning to, like, I don't know, move in together, but Fenris is planning a full-on murder!
I'm just fucking imagining that it doesn't happen in the timeline that it's expected, and, like, you and Tantia fully settle down. You're, like, in twin rocking chairs, like, knitting a scarf or some shit. And Tantia's like, oh, it's time. I gotta go beat the shit out of the Crystal Queen. I just got a feeling. I just gotta go do it. Just gets up and fucking takes off.
Stars. Stars decree it.
Oh, yep. Feel it in my joints. Gotta go kill the Crystal Queen. Be right back.
Are you sure that's not your arthritis, Tantia? You sure you don't want to... I'll go ahead. I'm still spry and young looking.
Last week I thought it was my sciatica, but no, it's the bones. I can tell.
Oh, come on. You don't think you've slipped another disc? I can look at it for you. Just stay.
I love that, like, your fucking wife slipped a disc and you have magic powers that can heal any wound, and you're like, I'll look at it.
Well, that's what looking at it means in a magical world. Oh yeah, you did. Fix that. Wow, no longer have the feeling. Time to get back to knitting a sweater. Come on, Tantia.
You know what? I love you. Unslips your disc.
I'm feeling sassily nice.
I love it.
Let's rub the tears and get to the whole, you know, getting beans thing! I'm on that. I'm on that now.
Yeah, you
I'm
really
on
like
Beetlejuice.
Oh, love it. Just fucking Fenris is like, alright, you know what, Tantia? You can go kill the Crystal Queen after you learn how to grow beans.
You're invisible when you're beans.
You can't see, I'm shaking. my
No
head at
one
people.
can hear you snack.
Dead beans, dead beans.
No matter the size of your nut. Everyone holds you back. Oh, I love it. I love this character that we've come up with. Good job, everyone. We made Beetlejuice.
We did. We made Beetlejuice.
Can't wait to meet him this Halloween.
That's why we needed the 3 extra weeks to record this. We had to nail down this Beetlejuice idea.
It's just a massive whiteboard with a bunch of shit crossed out. And beans is circled, and there's no further context. Love it. 2 questions left. Dear Logan,
That's
in
me.
Vestige, are there blood hunters written into the world at all, or do you have no plans for that kind of stuff unless a player shows interest in making one?
Yeah, I mean, there's organizations that are like that, heckin' all around the place. I mean, but they're, you know, they're probably affecting just the areas that they're in. If you're asking about things specific to, like, blood hunters, you could probably imagine things like that more exist in, like, the strike lands are a better place for things like that, but if you go to the right places, because the party's been in a highly populated center of the cap. Like, they've been in the Waterdeep kind of Retia this entire campaign. If you're looking for things like blood hunter orders, you'd end up going like a bit farther out into the mountain castles of the world, you know. So yeah, that kind of stuff's around. I've made organizations because of player interest, but most of the time, if like someone shows interest in a thing, I'll just try to co-opt something I already have into it because it's, you know, easier. The groundwork's done.
Are most of the blood hunters in the strike lands because of how much blood has been lost and allocated to the Olympic-sized swimming pool? They're
course.
just after that blood. I believe it.
What a canon thing you've just said.
Thank you.
All right.
The only thing stopping them are the ice wolves and the beans.
The ice wolves that have defied all logic and are now taking over fantasy Australia.
Yes.
Although, to be fair, that's what the Crystal Queen's doing. She is slowly terraforming the strike lands into being fucking in a permanent blizzard. Not a lot of it, but that's what she's doing to it.
She's getting there. She's getting there. And I appreciate that about her. Final question. Dear Logan.
Map.
What would have happened if Flux went with the Vogan squad instead of the Fen squad? Would Legion have left the way that he did? Would Elmira have stepped in if he had randomly appeared during their trial? Could Legion even fit in the temple? Would he just patiently sit by the entrance cross-legged like a good boy waiting for them to come out? Or would his hate boner be too strong that he would just straight up try to collapse the temple on them?
These are all wonderful questions that would have to have been answered if it had actually happened. If he could not find them somewhere that was advantageous, I mean, he had people at his disposal. If he couldn't go into a place to get them, he would send them in for him. He could use magic to change his size if he wanted to, I'm sure. But yes, where Legion showed up had everything to do with where Flux was. So, depending on the time frame, he probably would have shown up there. Whether or not Elmira would have gotten involved, it would have depended on what was happening.
Do you think Elmira would have done a lot of difference if that fight broke out?
Yes, I do. She's a toughie. She's a big old tough.
That makes sense. Also, Legion's art is real cool. I just saw it on the wiki.
Yeah, Legion is. You want to know another fun thing about Legion?
Tell me.
Okay, one sec. I'm going to show you something, Chase. Hold on.
All right.
Because I have an image for this. One sec.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
All right, here it comes. All right. So you have his image, but that doesn't. Here, I'm putting this in the Vestige chat.
Okay.
And there you go.
Oh. Yeah, he's a big.
Okay. I thought Flux's wrench was big.
That's why they're asking if he'd fit in the temple. He is huge!
Yeah, that question adds up a little better in my head now. That's a big boy.
Yep.
That's
That is Fierna's right-hand hunter, the guard dog of Fierna.
That's such a big boy.
It's true.
What a friendly man.
What a friendly man.
What a friendly, gentle man. I love him. And with that, we are on to the game with the highest stakes ever conceived.
Oh no.
There are 4 questions submitted by the players of Nat19 that are among all of these questions here. And, to help speed things up, 2 of them are to Fenris, and 2 of them are to Logan. And you will each get 2 guesses.
Okay. Why don't you take the first one? So you said there's 4 questions?
There are 4 questions total, so
get-
you have a chance for 100%. But yes, also, 2 questions were directed to Fenris, and 2 questions were directed to Logan.
Why don't you go first, Brad?
No. I get to be on these all the time. It's once in a blue moon when we have you. I insist.
We technically get to be on them the exact same amount of times. Once per rotation each.
No. You
Yes,
go
yeah,
first.
no, I insist.
But you're always right. You go ahead.
But I'm the DM, I insist.
Oh
Rule
gosh.
0, turn for you. You won an issue.
But I'm asking as a friend.
I'm the DM, I don't have friends.
Please go first.
Alright.
Yay!
Woo! Guilting.
I think I'm gonna guess the ones that are aimed at me. Let's see. No. No, because I know that no player would expect me to answer that one properly. That one feels like it, but that also... Okay, I think I got one. I think let's go with the Dear Lord Jerky. Congrats on your awakening. Any new things, hobbies are you interested in? The whole jerky question.
Yes, the jerky question. This question was not submitted by any of the players on Nat19, but it was submitted by like 6 different viewers and turned into this Frankenstein question.
As soon as I guessed it, I remembered you said that it was like a Frankenstein's monster situation of a question, and I was like, I failed. I fucking you tipped me off about it, and I all right.
I understand.
Well bred.
Now the pressure's on bread. Do you what to do?
I not know what do.
The extra tip that 2 of the questions were directed at you, and 2 of the
Yeah,
questions...
I'm only looking for the ones that were asked to me because that seems easier somehow.
Oh, ho, ho.
Okay, actually, I'm gonna go rogue. I'm gonna guess the Logan one for my first guess.
How dare you!
Instant betrayal. I love it.
Yeah. Is the Blood Hunter question a player?
The Blood Hunter question was not submitted.
Oh,
You were thinking that was a Spencer question?
I don't know.
You never know. Sometimes
I think, well, cause I guess the reason it would be asked is like in case one of them like was planning another player character. That's a great question to ask.
All right, you goddamn fucking try to get one of mine. I'm gonna try to get
go
one
ahead.
of yours.
Hey.
I'm gonna guess the one about the Kitsadria puppies.
Oh, that might. No, I bet it's not.
Yeah, you're likely correct by statistics, but I guess the Kitsadria puppy one.
Dear Fenris, there's a pack of adorable Kitsadria puppies in town that you can interact with, but don't. Why is that? Why haven't you made them chicken nuggets yet?
Yes.
That question was not submitted by one of the players on Nat19. We are down to the final guess.
That felt like a Carrie question.
I will say, Carrie did submit a question.
Okay.
Oh.
And just for fun, since this is your last guess, it was directed at Logan.
Oh shit. Damn! Damn! This is so hard.
I've never given anyone so much ammo in this game ever before.
I mean, and this time we're not even getting inspiration. So the world's an oyster. Alright.
The world's an oyster.
The world's an oyster, and it is not on anyone's side. It's an unaligned oyster.
God, so many of these questions, if you say it like Carrie, it sounds like Carrie. Like you trying to get the full set? What's up? That sounds like Carrie. I'm not buying it, though. I don't buy it because there's a something between Lexi and Flint, which I don't think she'd confess herself. Huh. Wouldn't be an actual lore question, would it? The Ice Wolf's question is tempting.
You never know with that Carrie.
It's true, you never know. That sounds like a Spencer question, but I'm not gonna guess that.
Final guess.
Okay.
Most high
Is
stakes.
the Ice Wolf question a player question?
Dear Logan, how afraid are you that the party is going to wander off into the frozen unknown and be immediately wiped out by those ungodly powerful ice wolves? Do you think they stand a better chance if they just roll over and accept them as the rightful rulers of this and any other world? That question. Final answer. No pressure. All the pressure, but no pressure. Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
That question was submitted by one of the players on Nat19.
Was it Carrie?
Guess who did it? You might get extra points.
That one. Yeah, you get to pick.
Okay.
You get to pick.
No, let's. I feel like it was either Carrie, Spencer, or Izzy. But I also
You
feel
can't
like
guess
Spencer would.
half of the possible
I know!
people.
I'm narrowing it down. I'm saying my thought process. Get off my back. Okay. Because Spencer totally might not have submitted one because that also sounds like Spencer. Is this an Izzy question?
Is that your final guess?
No. Is it a... Ho, ho, ho! Come on! Red brain work! Is this a carry question? Final answer, locking it in. Ah!
This question was submitted by Izzy! And the fucking twisting the blade element is the full set question was submitted by Carrie. You were literally
that would have been my other guess.
Away.
Honestly, if I hadn't been sneakily trying to be like, I'm gonna get one of yours, that was gonna be my guess.
Damn. Damn, homie.
Who were the other questions?
The other questions were, dear Fenris, if DeQuinn of the Pale Lady were to throw down to the honor of being Fenris' #1 god, who would win? What would their strategies be? What would they have favored terrain or perhaps a weapon of choice? Was submitted by the Izboy.
Okay.
Okay, Izzy.
Dear Fenris, if you hadn't become a cleric of DeQuinn, what do you think you'd be doing now? How would that change your dynamic with the people in the party? Was submitted by Hayden.
Oh, that's a good question.
And that was all the questions that were submitted because you got the other one.
Ah, man.
Y'all did a good heckin' job answering all these questions. It was
Woo!
really... Thank you guys for stopping by and having a good time answering all these questions.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure.
Yeah.
It's always wonderful getting to talk to you.
Thanks everybody for submitting all these wonderful questions. You can submit more questions in the forum below. I don't know if it's going to be for the show that's happening.
We might.
Tomorrow.
I think maybe we just delayed things a month. I think we just got set back a month is what happened, and maybe that's what we commit to.
All right.
Sorry, homies.
So, yeah. All right.
Whoever's...
So that, with that, the form below would be heckin'. Who would that be?
Oh, we've been posting things in the scheduling chat instead of the Chat19 chat.
That's fine.
Yeah, I did
That's
see
fine.
that.
Whatever. The next time would be... Who would it fucking be? Isn't it? Is it people we missed? Isn't it?
The list.
No, we
the
missed
list that I have is old apparently because this
because
is
it's
scheduled.
August 30th. We missed someone. We excluded someone. Was it Vogan and Miriam?
Probably.
Did we do that one last? Check the form below. It'll be someone.
Check the form below. It'll be people.
Yeah.
Ask him things. Put that pressure on him.
Yeah.
I believe in all of you. Thank you so much for submitting your questions. Submit more. Do it down there.
Do
We
it.
Appreciate it. See you next month.
All right.
And yeah. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for listening. Thanks for all this stuff. You guys are wonderful. I appreciate y'all. Bread, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at a crummy VA, and you can find me on Nat19. If you want to follow me on TikTok, sure. Bread 4 times.
Like
Tara
just
will
broke.
occasionally get TikToks on her For You page from you, and I'll just be like, is that internet famous Bread Breaderson?
Awful. I get hers too. I'm like, Tara?
Very
In this
I also
economy?
get them from both of you on account of following you.
so
It's
proud.
true.
It's
Also,
fucking. It
you
just
know-
sounded like you broke. It sounded like you were just like, and
It's
you can
true.
follow me on Nat19, and you can follow me on TikTok at bread.
I'm gonna be honest. The reason why I said 4 times was because I'm not sure how many times I said them.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Logan, where can people find you?
You can find me on the Project Mouthwash channel. You can find me in some of some stuff that I'm at some point gonna, I guess, get to announce. You can find me here on Nat19 doing all this stuff, and you can also, in case you guys have any interest in Digimon cards, I've started doing unboxing streams also on the Nat19 channel here. That you can come and check them out. They're about an hour each. They're just hanging out, opening boxes of Digimon cards. It's a nice, chill, fun time. And yeah, I don't know, IMDb, my Twitter.
Yeah. Oh, Nat19 also has a TikTok, guys. So if you're on that TikTok hype, heckin' Nat19 official.
Yeah, which we're slowly getting stuff onto.
It's true. And we have a Patreon now.
It's true, we also have a Patreon now.
Check that out. Probably
Look at me
in the
remembering the things that
video.
matter.
Yeah.
That's probably in the description of this video, I bet.
Yeah.
Find all the stuff there. I believe in you guys. You can do it.
All right.
And then me, I've been Chase, aka Coffin Jockey. You can find me on Twitter at Coffin Jockey. I do stuff for Schmuck Squad. I do stuff for Something Witty, and you can find me out back behind the Denny's, as always.
As always.
Where you can
Behind
always
the
challenge me to a
Denny's.
fight. As is the case for all Denny's parking lots.
That's your favorite terrain.
Yes, it's true. I have Ranger levels, but only behind the Denny's. But yeah, thank you guys so much for stopping by. Submit questions. We'll see you guys next month for more Chat19.
Bye.
Body toast, you're loved and appreciated.